Hello friends, I hope everybody's doing well. Okay, so today we're going to work on this Tecumseh engine, 5.5 horse, I believe it is. In the last video, we installed a new carburetor on it, and then I'll go over that with you in a minute. But what I want to try to do today is, I want to try to fish the brand new fuel line through the back of the housing here, the cover. Without taking the cover off, I want to try to fish it through. Now, with this one, most of them, this is already moving pretty easy. I don't know if it came out of the clip on the inside. I don't know what the case is with it, but we're just going to fish the line through. I'll show you how I'm going to do that. But first I want to show you something over here with the carburetor. Alright. For one thing, you never want to buy this brand here, carburetor. Okay, and I'll show you why. If you want to buy a carburetor for your machine, either get an OEM carburetor or a Hyper. Carburetors are good. I never had a problem with that, but I'll show you what the problem is here with this one. On the carburetor here, you have a return spring on the throttle. Look, it does nothing. It either came off or broke off. I don't know what. It was working when I put the carburetor on, and then we had that problem with this thing over revving. I don't know what happened in the meantime with it. So what I'm going to do today is, here, okay, so the stupid camera stopped recording. Good thing I caught that right away. Alright, so on the old carburetor here, you can clearly see that the throttle springs right back. So what I intend to do today is I'm going to take as much of the new parts, like the float, the needle, the seat I can't take out, because once you try to take the rubber seat out, you ruin the seat. So we're going to leave that alone, because there's nothing wrong with that in the first place. The old gasket here, the bowl gasket, really bad shape. So what I did off camera is I just made sure that this will fit. The brand new gasket will fit. So I'm going to use the brand new gasket, the brand new bowl, the brand new see if I can find that now. Oh, here it is. And the brand new main jet we're going to use. Because it looks like everything fits. And then what I'm going to do is, trying not to lose everything here. The idle jet right here, I already loosened it. I'm going to pull it out and clean it. I mean, it ran good. This carburetor did run pretty good on it, but we were having a trouble with it where I had to prime it like 10-12 times to start it up. It did surge a little bit, and this jet in here could be a problem. So I'm going to take that out and I'm going to clean everything real good. I'm going to just do it off the camera. All you have to do here is you just pull the pin out that holds the float in there. I'll take it all out and put all the new stuff in it. And then I'll get set up over there, and then we're going to run the brand new line through. Okay, so what I used here is I had a piece of threaded rod. I think I over-exaggerated cutting a big piece like that off. So what we're going to do is we're going to feed it into this hose, the old hose. Now I take the new hose and feed it on here. It's very important that you clean this end off really good with some brake clean, because I did that already. Because if you rub the hose, the black comes right off on your hose. It's an old hose. It's probably 25 or 30 years old. Alright, so it's very important you clean this, because what we're going to do is we're going to put some electrical tape around also. So I'm going to put this rod in as far as I could here, and then I'll stick the other end on. I'm trying not to get in your way. You stick this in there as far as you want, but just leave yourself enough to put the new hose on. The one I did before, the hose is really hard to pull through on the clips that hold the hose on. So I don't know if the hose broke or if it came apart. I don't remember what happened. That was years ago. That was before I even did YouTube. That was a long time ago. It was when I tried to do it. So I just cut a piece of tape. I know you can't see what I'm doing, but all I'm doing is cutting a piece of electrical tape here. You don't want to go too crazy with the tape either, because you're passing through those brackets in there. So you don't want it to be too thick of tape. If anybody wants to see the carburetor installation on this, I took the carburetor off because it's a lot easier to work on it. Plus that carburetor is a piece of junk, as you saw. So we're just going to tape this up. You don't have to go too crazy with this, because what we're going to do is we're going to push the hose from this side through, and I'll pull from the other side a little bit. You don't want to pull too hard though. That may have been the problem that I had the last time. Maybe I pulled the hose too hard and it either came disconnected. I don't remember. But hopefully this works. Otherwise, if it doesn't work, I'll have to pull that whole thing apart again. Yeah, I'll pull the cover, the housing off here. I'm jammed up. I don't know why I'm jammed up, but I am. We got a problem here now. Like I said, I never had luck doing it this way. I'm not having any luck doing it this way today either. I don't know what could have happened. I know what happened. The new hose is probably thicker. It's a 1/4 inch hose, the inner diameter, but the outer diameter may be thicker. Oh boy. I can't get it to start going through the bracket. What if we twist it? Would that help any, you think? Twist and push. Or it made it worse. Not gonna work. This isn't gonna work. So what was binding there? It came apart. So I don't know. I don't know if I could push this through even. Alright, so this is one of those Oh, let's I get this back through. This is one of those things that never works out for me. Trying to do this. That's all this is. Ah, this is funny. I gotta try to fish that through. I'll try to come back to you with this. Something, I don't know what, but it's not working. Well, I tried to show you the easy way to do it, but it's not so easy, never for me. So, I'm just gonna take the two bolts out that are facing down this way, just holding the bottom part of the cover. And then I'll put the snowblower back down, and then I'll have to see what's entailed to, I think I have to disconnect the throttle assembly here, because it would have been so much easier if that hose just went right through there, but alright, so I just let you know that I'm just taking those two bolts out there on the bottom down there. There's one on that side, one on this side, and then I'll get back to you again. In the last segment, a couple of days ago, it started to rain, so I had to hurry up and put everything away here. We're back at it now. We finally stopped raining this morning. So the next thing I had to do was to get the shroud off. I had to pop the gas tank off, and it's on sliders. I had a hard time remembering how to do it because years ago I had to put a coil in this. I put a good used coil. So you just slide the tank back, and you can see right here where the this is the rail for the clips. The bigger part goes in there, and when you push it forward, it clips in here. So what we're going to do next is, I got only one bolt holding the shroud on there. I'm going to take that bolt out, and then we're going to have to remove the flywheel to gain access to the fuel line. So I'll be back to you shortly. It's cold here today. Okay, so far I prepared the new fuel line here. This part goes towards the tank, this part goes towards the carburetor, and what we'll do is we'll fit the we'll try to fit the fuel line in there, and then I'll cut the excess off on the other side after we put the shroud on and install a gas tank, that this all lines up properly. Here it goes like this. So alright, so right now we're going to take off the flywheel here. Yeah, I got it all set up. I got a breaker bar that I stuck in here, right there, and we're going to put the nut back on after we get the nut off, and then we have to get off this piece here. We'll take that off, we'll put the nut back on. We'll probably have to tap it with a hammer, and hopefully it comes off, because when I did the when the coil went out this years ago, I didn't have to take the flywheel off, and being that what a rust bucket this thing is, let's see how we make out. I might have to spray some WD in there and let it work down in there, but let's try it for now. Hands are freezing here. I'll stick the nut back on there flush here. If I can. There I go. Yeah, that's good there. I just don't want to burr anything up here. The last thing we want to do is burr the crankshaft. Then you got a problem. So let's see what happens here. I might have to start up the Gravely and warm my hands up for a minute. Well, we can't get it good. We got it. Cool. Some come off real easy, some don't. We gotta watch we don't lose the key in there. We gotta watch out for that too. Oh my goodness. Who's looking forward to springtime? I know I am. If it's not going to snow, I want it to be warmer. Alright, let's make sure that the key is in there still. Yep, it is. I want to try not to disrupt that at all. This could have been so easy, but it ended up being so hard. I still don't know how this fuel line runs back here. I guess it goes into one of the pins here. Oh, it goes in here. It goes through here, I would imagine. Let's see. I should stick something in the end of the hose here so no debris gets in there, but I'll just spray some brake clean through there or something. So, alright, where do we want to come in from here? This is crazy. Oh, my hands. I'm sorry I'm complaining so much, but it's cold. Alright, so we gotta go in this way. This is where the problem. I don't know, can you see in here even? I don't know. I'll show you what I'm gonna do when I'm back to you. I'm gonna go warm my hands up real quick. Hate to do it this way, but it's windy, it's cold, Alright, so I'm running the hose in from the other side there. And then we have this right here, which I'm having a little hard time. I might just pry up on this a little bit so I can pass the hose through. And then the hose will come through here, and then it'll come out here somewhere. Okay, so I'll get that far. If anybody wants to see how to install a carburetor on one of these old ones here, I'll pin a link to the last video I did when we put the brand new carburetor on here. This is a hunk of junk. I did myself a favor too. I had to take the throttle linkage off here, and what I did was I just tie strapped it to the handle here, because you don't want anything falling out and so on. So I'm gonna get that hose through there. I'll put the flywheel back on. You don't need to see that. Now just bolt the flywheel back on it. I'll get the screws started in the shroud. I'll show you where all the screws go in that, and then whatever else I have to show you. So I'll be back. Okay, so I just wanted to bring you back for a minute. Got a bolt to go straight down there, a bolt to go straight down there. I use a 3/8 socket. Then you have your throttle linkage here, and you'll be using a 1/4" socket. I'm talking about sockets. Use a 1/4" socket for this bolt and this bolt, put that on. Another 3/8 bolt here, which is on the top. I have this on its nose right now. And then I had to use a 5/16 socket for this bolt here. And that's about it. I took the electric start out because it doesn't work. It's dead. So I took that out. And this is where the starter button went. So I took that out too. That's about all I have to tell you for right now. So, very important to be careful how you run your, this is the primer, the primer bulb hose. Just be careful that this is the vent hose here. I don't care if that gets burnt. It won't though. It's out of the way. They just put everything so close. So make sure you run your hose here away from the exhaust on the other side of the breather hose here. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to mount the carburetor on it. That's how far we've gotten. So I'm going to mount the carburetor on it and see if the carburetor works okay. With the carburetor, I forgot to explain before that the new carburetor, there was no good. The needle in there, the new one had a needle that had the rubber seat built into the needle. We can't use that on this carburetor here because the seat is built, it was part of the carburetor. I can't talk, I'm so cold. So I had to use the old needle. In other words, I had to use the old needle because the new needle had a rubber seat attached straight to the needle. So I had to do that. So let's see if this carburetor will work now. If worse comes to worse and the carburetor doesn't work, I'm just going to have to get a new one. I'll get a new HIPAA one if this one doesn't work out right. So after all said and done, I'll start it up for you. I still have to put the gas tank on. I showed you how I took the tank off. So we have everything's all set here. The hose, that clip in the center of when we had the housing left, I just bent it up a little bit and now I can move the hose back and forth. I can take as much as I need. But first what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the tank on it and hook up the hose to the tank, make sure that's all good, the distance wise, and then I'll measure off how much fuel line we need to connect to the carburetor, and that's about it for now. So I'll be back to you in a second for you. Alright, so the fuel line is done. Excuse me 1 second. I don't want to get copyrighted. I had the radio on. Yeah, so as you saw, that new carburetor was a hunk of junk. So I switched the parts over to the old carburetor. It's not running right. It's going to need like a HIPAA. I'll try to get a HIPAA carburetor for it. But the fuel line worked out good. We have no leaks with that. I hope you got something out of that. Some of you could sneak the fuel line better. I don't know if you have any better ideas to do it. Maybe using the threaded rod was a bad idea. I don't know. Or I think the outside the diameter of the Napa fuel line that I got, I think probably that had something to do with it. But alright, so that's going to be it on this machine here. So far it's just a hunk of junk carburetor. This thing was a pain to work on anyway, but if anybody has one of these old ones, and putting the fuel line in will help you out. If you can't sneak it in, I showed you how to take the shroud and everything off. The important thing is, if you have one of these old ones, you gotta make sure you slide the tank back to get the tank off. And that's about it. I couldn't remember, as I said before, I couldn't remember how to get the tank off, and I just messed with it and then I got it off. So alright, so thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one, and take care.